Hello YouTubers, this is ShopBlocker97 and welcome to my next video. This video, as you could already tell from the intro card, is going to be Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck idea. Now this video is just going to be audio because I'm kind of using my computer, and I'm going to be using a popular program known as, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling program, that is, known as Dueling Network. It's a pretty simple program, and it's really good for these kind of videos. Now, people have been doing Yu-Gi-Oh, deck ideas online for a while. Most notably, I got this idea actually from a couple YouTubers that have done Pokemon deck ideas, mostly J-Wits and stuff like that, who actually gave me some inspiration as far as like what I can do as deck idea, but I figured why not just do a Yu-Gi-Oh deck idea. So this Yu-Gi-Oh deck, it's a good deck idea, of a variation actually of a couple different deck types. Um, Now this deck has brought me much success. Like when I was battling dueling on Dueling Network, I've won a couple battles. I mean duels. Sorry, I keep saying battles, but duels. Using this deck. So this deck is successful and it really has brought me luck. So here it is. This is a variation, as you can see from the card here. Well, obviously we know the usual Skull Servant deck strategy. You use Skull Servants, get as many as you can into the graveyard to power up your King of Skull Servants, which the original attack of this card is the number of Skull Servants and Skull Servant in your graveyard times 1,000. So for every Skull Servant in your graveyard, it goes up by 1,000. Now, of course, a major strategy with this deck is to use different cards, like the white cards, or white, whichever way you want to pronounce it. But basically, these cards, when in the grave, they have good effects while on the field, like Lady in there. Now, there's many different cards for this deck that are whites. There's white. Sorry, the Lady in the White Mare, and White Prince mostly. But anyway, a couple other whites, but basically when they're in the graveyard, they also count as their names are changed to Skull Servant, so they're really good for this kind of deck. So anyway, the whites also help out with this deck because obviously you can only have 3 copies of the actual Skull Servant in your deck. So the whites will help out when powering up your King of Skull Servants. Now, another thing that I've added to this deck also is the use of synchro cards. How I added synchro cards? Well, I added a few notable tuners. Pain Painter is a good zombie type tuner that I use in this deck, and also I've added some other cards. Let me get it up here. Plague Spreader Zombie is also another good zombie tuner that can be included with this deck. But certain cards can also be placeholders for and also help out with the synchro summoning. Gombly Zomblin, not really for attacking or its effect, but mostly as for the synchro summoning to help out with, because you need the level that you need. Now, another good card for this deck is Armageddon Knight. Wait, let me get his effect there. When this card is summoned, you can send 1 dark monster from your deck to your graveyard. So you can send Skull Servants or Whites to your deck and get them out. I mean, they'll be counted as Skull Servants, and then you can power up your King of Skull Servants. So that card is really good for using for this kind of deck. Also, just as a couple add-ins for classic zombies decks, increase the attack and defense of all zombie type monsters by 200 when you flip it. So if it's attacked, and let's say you have King of Skull Servants, it's already powered up, but you want a little bit more, it'll increase it by 200. As long as this card remains face up on the field, the attack and defense of the zombie type monsters increases by 200. Hold on, let me just drag that down. This effect continues until the 4th turn after this card is activated. It'll keep increasing by 200, and you'll keep getting added on attack and defense, which is really good and sweet for this kind of deck. It powers up the King of Skull Servants even more. Now, Also, not only the whites, but another good card, Dark Grepher. You can special summon this card from your hand by discarding one level 5 or higher dark monster. That effect can't really be used with this deck, but where it shines. Once per turn, you can discard one dark monster and send one dark monster from your deck to your graveyard. So it's really good for discarding like whites and Skull Servants, so you can power up King of Skull Servants. So there you go. Now you have many different methods to power up the Skull Servants. Also, if you, for a little variety here, we also got the Zombie Master. Once per turn, send one monster card from your hand to the graveyard. Then target one level 4 zombie monster in either player's graveyard, special summon that target. So, like, let's say you just want to send a Skull Servant or white from your deck to your graveyard. You can do so, and bring back any zombie monster you want. So, if, like, let's say, sorry, yeah, there we go. Let's say Paint Painter is in your graveyard and you want to get him back. Well, there you go. Now you can get back your tuner and get ready for synchro summoning. Now, a couple synchro cards you can use in this deck. There's no specific synchros. You can mix anything. I kept my mostly zombie type, just for the sake of keeping a zombie type deck. Well, this one isn't zombie type, but it uses Dark Tuner, so it helped out. Infernity Doom Dragon is an example of a card you can use. But if you want to stay original with your zombie types, zombies, then you can go with Revived King Hades. Another good example would be, hold on, I'm trying to get its image up. Archfiend Zombie Skull, which is another good one. Power Tool Dragon, mostly for his effect. Well, he doesn't go in any way with this kind of deck, zombie type deck. He's still a good synchro, and you can use his effect like for equipped spell cards and all that. Now, one of the other main powerhouses of this deck, just in case as a backup strategy, Red Eyes Zombie Dragon. He has 2,400 attack, 2,000 defense. You can summon this card into face-up attack position by tributing one zombie monster. So if you have Skull Servant or one of your rights on your deck and on the field, and you want to get out a powerhouse right from the start, and you can't, for some reason, get out King of Skull Servants, well, here you go. Here's another option that you could just play, and it's costs only one tribute for that level and that attack. That's actually really good and come in handy. Now, of course, target up to 3 banished and return them to the graveyard. Burial from a Different Dimension. Very good card for if your Skull Servants get banished. You can get them back into the graveyard and power up King of Skull Servants. You can only have one, but it's good. Another good card for this deck is Foolish Burial. Send one monster from your deck to your graveyard. Send Skull Servants or Rights, and there you go. 1 for 1. Send one monster from your hand to your graveyard. Special summon one monster from your hand or deck. So let's say you have a Skull Servant. You can send him from your hand to your graveyard. And let's say you have King of Skull Servants already there. You can special summon him. So there you go. Now you can get out King of Skull Servants. He'll also have another 1,000 attack from whatever Skull Servant or right you want to send, and it'll power him up. Now, other spell cards are just these cards are just options. Tree Right can help out. Another card, now this card doesn't need to be in it, but it's a good idea. When your opponent activates a card or card effect that would inflict damage to you, your opponent takes the damage from the card or card effect instead. So if he has a spell or trap card that would negate your attack and inflict the damage on you, and you have King of Skull Servants, he's really powered up, you don't want to take it, it'll inflict it on him. That is a really good card, and it's good for this kind of deck. So, otherwise, there's also, this field spell, Wasteland, increase the attack and defense of all dinosaurs, zombie, or rock by 200. Also, oh, well, that's about the end of the video anyway. like I said, this deck has won me a couple of duels, and it's really good. It's easy to use because basically all you gotta do is make sure one of the Skull Servants or Rights get into the graveyard, and you'll have more success. But also the freaking Plague Spreader Zombie will and also Pain Painter will add the synchros into the deck, and also Red Eye Zombie Dragon is also good to add in just for if you need a backup plan. So anyway, that was my video, guys. Be sure to leave us a like or subscribe if you like with this deck, or if you have an idea of how I can change this deck, make it any better. Feel free to leave that in the comments as well. Also, I know at the end of my videos, most of the time I give a shout out to a few other YouTubers that I really would suggest you checking out. For Pokemon related stuff, I would suggest J-Wits and Shofu, stuff like that. Zelda videos, of course, Nintendo Capri Sun, Lucky 7DX, HMK if you want Pokemon theory or theory videos and stuff like that. So, most of those people, I always recommend them because they're really good YouTubers. I've watched almost all their videos and they're really good. They really deserve it, guys. So anyway, that's the end of my video. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. I'm planning on doing Pokemon deck ideas too in the future, and also bringing in a couple other new ideas for fresh videos. So this is ShopBlocker97, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.